and gentlemen, and welcome to this IC Wales Cymru Business Breakfast. Nice to see so many of you have taken up the invitation and come along today. I always like this room, I like being in this room because I like being close to Victorian engineering. You know, I might touch it here. Just a few housekeeping things. No fire alarms expected, so the way out as you came in. Can you please make sure that you switch your mobiles to silent? I think I've done that already. So without further ado, this is my last event as chairman, so with a big sigh of relief from the assembled throng, no doubt. It's gone very quickly this year. 15th of October, I think it took over. And, you know, where's it gone? But, it's been very, very good. This morning's presentation is a bit of a nightmare for me because I'm hopeless at remembering names. So this is a difficult one. We've got David Reed here, who is going to talk to us about tyres, and I'm really looking forward to that. And he's from a company called Rob Morris Environmental. So without further ado, over to you, David.
Thanks, Norman. Thanks everybody for coming this morning. I'm going to give you a presentation on tyre blocks, recycled tyres in civil engineering and construction. Also, obviously, I represent the company. Rob Morris Environmental is my company, so I'm obviously going to be giving you a bit of sales patter with regards to what we can do as well. So I hope you don't mind that. This is a tyre block. Just wanted to start it off. I don't know how many people have actually seen these or possibly used them or heard of them before. They've been around for quite a while. The only difference with this than the tyre blocks that go into civil engineering or construction is that every single block that is put into civil engineering and construction is certified and made to a specific standard. With regards to the company, I'll give you an introduction into us. We've been trading for about 5 years. We're based down in South Wales, just outside Landau. We collect and process approximately 9,000 to 10,000 tyres per week. And we collect from all across South Wales, West Wales, and even have tyres come into us from councils in Reading and Bracknell. With regards to the recycled product we produce, the tyre block, we're one of the leading producers and suppliers in the UK, and we're the only company in Wales that actually focuses on using these recycled products. With regards to the company, we're fully regulated and authorised by the Environment Agency. We're a founding member of the Tyre Block Association, which I will come back to in a few minutes. We're also members of the other governing body in the UK, which is the Tyre Recycling Association, Tyre Recovery Association and the Tyre Industry Federation. With regards to myself, there is a bit of information on the leaflets that's been handed out, but essentially my background is in business development. I've held positions with BT Group, one of the leading energy assessment companies in the UK as well. This is Rob, who's my business partner. Essentially, he's more of a silent partner with regards to the tyre recycling company. But Rob is the owner and the managing director of Groundworks company, which which he's been doing for about 12 years. And it's called RM Morris Groundworks now, and it's they do projects. It's business to business for Kias, John Weavers, ISGPS, just to name a few. Rob's sort of main role within the company is to provide the consultation with regards to any projects where we use the tyre blocks in. So, introduction to tyre blocks. Now, you may have heard of them, or you may have seen emails flying about, maybe from myself trying to get in front of people, called PAS 108 tyre bales. This is a specification that is which was brought up by BSI, just to put it across that this is how these recycled products need to be made. Essentially, it's 120 end-of-life car van tyres. And essentially they go into a baler, they're all herringboned in, so in a uniform fashion. They're all checked to see if they comply to a PAS 108 specification, which is specified with BSI. So these are things like they've kind of got big rips in there, you know, it's not half a tyre sticking out, it's essentially so it doesn't doesn't create any more problems than it achieves benefits. We compress that all up in a baling machine to a block, and then we cable tie it, which are a specific length. They're all galvanised and they're kept to a certain format then. As mentioned, the tyre blocks were first, or tyre bales, perhaps when they were tyre bales where they was at the time, they were brought about and tested by the Waste Resource Action Programme and BSI. And there was also all the testing and application testing that were done with the TRL and HR Wallingford, which probably mean more to you than it does to me, really. The history of the tyre blocks, they first started being used in the States about 15 years ago. They use them today. They process approximately 40 million tyres into civil engineering and construction in the States, and that is the sort of for a reliable source for last year, really. To give you some idea of the scale of that, that's probably about 20% of recycled tyres, whereas in the UK we probably process about 50 million tyres a year, just as we are in total. And we've probably got about that sort of share of the market at the moment. Primary uses: embankment fill, road foundation and stabilisation. They're used in the UK, and they have been used in the UK for these sort of applications. I've got some more example of these later on, but they're used by the Forestry Commission, Balfour Beatty, Capita Simmons, Viridor, Biffa, Coal Authority. Everybody's using them, and they're starting to specify them now with the designers as well. Here's some information with regards to the technical side of it. With regards to the lengths, with the lengths, the widths, the depths, etc., you are going to have a slight plus or minus. You know, you're working with a product that can sort of fold out slightly and retake certain shapes. So with regards to the length, it could be a plus minus on there of 35 mil, something like that. It's not much at all, but it is slightly different. Not one or two tyre blocks going to be exactly the same. The volume there is 1.7 cubed. I put a little bit of information in, so I just wanted to sort of highlight an example, because one of these, what you need to look at a tyre block as is a replacement for traditional aggregates. So for example, if you were using gravel and you brought in a load of gravel, say 18 tonne, you'd drop it down and you'd get about 12 metres cubed from that load of gravel. If you bring in a load of tyre blocks on an Arctic and offload them, you'd be covering a space or an area of 55 metres cubed. So this is the sort of difference that you'd be having using tyre blocks as comparison to gravel. But I will sort of get onto the unique selling points a bit later as well. What they use for and where. This is a project in Scotland. It's foundation over soft ground. It essentially was a marshy area they needed to get across. They used 2,500 tyre blocks in this project here, and it was with the Environment Agency in Scotland that they'd done this project with. And essentially it was just as simple as putting a base layer, laying the tyre blocks on top, and then putting another layer on top of it and filling the voids with it. You can see there that you've got, I don't know, probably a 15-tonne lorry on there, but you know, as soon as these things are down, you can drive dumpers, 30-tonne, 40-tonne dumpers on it. They're that rigid. This is slope failure repair, where they've used them to stabilise the slopes there. The reason why I've used this one from Texas is because it's got a date on it, 2003. So this just shows and highlights the fact that these have been used for a long time, and they're very good at what they do. Apologies on the picture on this one. I had to put it up because this is a project where they use 10,000 tyre blocks. That's about 1 million recycled tyres. They use them in the river with them in Lincolnshire. And this project was actually done with the Environment Agency. So they've actually seen an area where they needed to build up the banks, and they've used these tyre blocks to do it. They actually delivered the tyre blocks on barge down the river as well. So it was a very innovative project. Drainage layers behind retaining walls, it's quite an obvious one there. Sustainable urban drainage systems, small quantities provided, but once you see sort of what because it's got a high void ratio and the permeability of the product, is they're very effective in these sort of scenarios. Drainage layer is landfill engineering applications. This is sort of what we've been cutting our teeth on for the last sort of 5 years, really. Basically, it's a drainage layer. So you'd get your bottom of your landfill cell, you'd lay your tyre blocks, geotechs on top of it, and you've got a stable environment there. So it's they're very effective for that. And we've ourselves have done about 5 different projects on landfill cells, but it's one of the areas where it's mainly used at the moment. Benefits to tyre blocks. So going back to what I was saying earlier, the permeability. So you're working with a rubber product, it's the same as a tyre on the road. You know, the water doesn't stick to it, it bounces off it. So you stick a tyre block down and you run a hose on top of it, it just drains straight through it. The porosity of it, again, just sort of adds to the permeability, really. So it's the high void ratio. Low bulk density, they're easier to handle during construction. There's lower transport costs as well as bringing in aggregates. If you look back to the volumes there of what you'd be covering, how many loads of gravel you'd have to bring in just to get it close to that. You'd have to bring 5 per one, 5 loads of gravel per 1 load of tyre blocks. So you're reducing your emissions on there, so there's the environmental aspect of it as well. Good frictional response and stiffness, so again, just to highlight, they're easier to handle in construction. Once you put these blocks down, they weigh just under a ton, so once you put them down, they're going to stay there. And essentially you're working with building blocks as well, so you can just lay them down, stack them on top of each other, pyramid them up, whichever way you want to. Some costs, which is my favourite part of promoting the product, really, because it's very cost effective, and that's what we all look at these days, isn't it? Here's some things which you would consider in the same sort of area. And by far, it is the cheapest way of doing it. Right, so just to highlight then, so you've got the most competitive price, you've got lower transport costs, lower installation, you've got lower emissions for your environmental impact on transportation installation, you've got better drainage, water flow qualities than you would do on any of the other products shown there on the table. Environmental friendly, it's 100% recycled product, and they're tried and tested. Not just in road foundation or stabilisation, but in all the applications suggested by HR Wallingford and the TRL. Right, so I'm obviously try and sell my company to you now. Rob Morris Environmental, who are we? We're the leading Welsh company in implementation of these tyre blocks. We're the ones that everybody comes to us if they're looking to use tyre blocks in Wales and the UK as well. We're one of the market leaders in the UK. Because these tyre blocks are produced in different areas, we've run jobs up in Scunthorpe, we're running one now just up the road from us. So with regards to where we can travel for it, it's limitless. We can go anywhere in the UK with them. And that again is in terms of quantities as well. We're fully regulated, we're authorised, we're a certified member of the Tyre Recovery Association. We're the founding member of the Tyre Block Association. The Tyre Block Association, we'll come back to the Tyre Block Association shortly. We hold testing, further additional testing which we've carried out, environmental impact data, which the Environment Agency, if you are looking to use this recycled product, will ask you for information from. We hold it. And with regards to a company, along with Rob's Groundworks company, we provide the full package, so we can either just turn up and deliver them to you, or we can deliver them and we can actually install them into your application as well. And by the by, obviously we get full consultancy from the start to finish. We've completed over 10 major tyre blocks projects since we started in 2009. We are a pioneering, or the pioneering company in Wales for supplying and using tyre blocks. And if not, the UK as well. What projects have we done? So just give you some more examples. With Biffa in Scunthorpe, we provided 5,500 of these tyre blocks into a landfill cell where they were used as a drainage layer. That was actually the first project, first major project which we won. And obviously anybody who's dealt with Biffa before knows how very tight they are. So obviously it was extremely cost effective for them. J.M. Bentley, this is the one we're actually processing at the moment. We put 800 tyres in, tyre blocks so far in for them. It's a coal authority. The designers at Atkins have actually specified use of these tyre blocks. And essentially what they're doing is building 3 ponds. They're taking away one area and they're building up the other area in uniform fashion because they're so easy to use with the tyre blocks. It's a great one for us as well because it's just up the road, so we save on transport. Crabber & Sons in Wootton Bassett, Swindon. It was their first landfill cell which they were building, and it got specified to them to use tyre blocks as a drainage layer. Gwely Farm in Hengoed. Again, obviously anybody who's dealt with farmers before know that they're quite tight. They would actually, well, quite is probably a more nicer word to use really, but they, he had his bankment falling onto his path quite frequently, and with any weather or whatever it was just slipping down and it was causing him a nightmare. So eventually we went in on the track and put just 4 tyre blocks along the side of it and sort of built the banking just back on top of it, and he's absolutely over the moon with it, and that's been in place for 2.5 years now. So again, one of the positive sides of it, but it was good for us to get an understanding of it. Another one, this was actually the first project we'd done. I'm from Caerphilly myself, I know this gentleman. He was getting complaints from homeowners in the area that the noises were too loud on the quads, and we actually just used about 75 tyre blocks and built a sound barrier with them, covered them over, instead of using any other fill which you can think of. And he hasn't had a complaint since, so I would take that as very positive. What we've got as a company in the pipeline, we're currently dealing with Darla Lloyd. There's none to follow on RFC, they've had a grant to build a new rugby pitch, clubhouse, etc. They're looking at using them for the retaining wall. We've actually been put into the drawings, and they're going to be used as drainage because of the water flow qualities on it, on the actual rugby pitch, which will probably be the first in Wales. We've actually priced up as a tentative stage with Costains for a major, I don't know if any of you are aware of it, if you heard of it, but there's a motorway or an A road going up there, and they need embankment fill and slope stabilisation in that area. That's 75,000 tyre blocks, which would be a huge project for us, but not one we're not scared of. And we've just put prices in for Viridor as well for the southwest. They've got 6 landfill cells they're doing over the next 2 years, and they've come to us because they want to use tyre blocks for that as well. There's another picture of a tyre block, remember. Right, talk to you about the Tyre Block Association. Essentially this was established last year, and the reason why it's established is that myself and 3 other UK tyre recycling companies that produce the tyre blocks have actually been working very closely with the Environment Agency in using these, because they are a waste product, they're a recycled product, so you need to get everything done correctly. So we've established this governing body so we can show and certify everything that we're doing is done to the best standards that can possibly be done. They've requested all sorts of different things from us which we've supplied. The most recent, and this sort of highlights how serious we are about the product, is that we carry out environmental impact data, so what the sort of leachates would be from tyres once they're in any sort of moist water environments. We invested heavily with Southampton University, and we've had all the results back from them. They're very, very positive. This is all backed and supported by the Environment Agency, and one of the things that when you do look at projects in the future where you can use these tyre blocks is that they will be turning around and saying, well, what's the environmental impact? Do you hold the data? And good for you if you do business with us, because we actually do hold that information. The outline aims of us is, well, essentially what I just said is that we need to control the marketing, producing these products and where they're used, because obviously we want everybody to have a positive name that is using them, because they are a very good cost-effective product to use. That's just a template website we've got up at the moment. It's just a holding page where you can just see our details on there and see sort of what we're trying to aim for it as a governing body. So what we'll provide, just to highlight, I'll run through this quickly. Full consultancy, with full collaboration with the Environment Agency. Natural Resources Wales here will supply, or will supply only, or will install whatever you want. We've got an unlimited resource of Tyre Blocks. We've got access to all the testing data and the information you'll need. Okay, on to this conclusion then. Just if you're going to take anything from it, take these sort of 5 points. It's 100% recycled product you'd be using. You're going to reduce your cost in terms of using any of the traditional aggregates. They're tried and tested by big prime construction and civil engineering firms. They're easier to install. There's reduced cost again in transportation and in installation, and reduced emissions as well, so you're saving in several different areas. So that's basically coming to the end of the presentation now. There's some information with regards to myself and the company. Reason why this is being videoed today now is that we want to get this through to anybody at any time, so you can have access to this presentation via YouTube or Twitter or LinkedIn or Facebook, so all the information will be put up on there. And that's it essentially. So any questions, I'll try and field them. Bear in mind I'm not a civil engineer, so if they're too technical I won't answer you.